Last year I started my dream project, a world where creativity is the most important thing. Everything went really well until I suddenly stopped. I spent 300 days not being in Minecraft. You know, touching the grass and stuff. Ew, that's disgusting. There's dirt and stuff out there. But now, I'm back, ready to create some new epic builds. To refresh my memory, we have to go back
2 years ago.
I had just graduated and I was planning to take 1 year where I would work at a kindergarten and then do Minecraft content on the side. That worked really well for me. I got into a good pace where I could balance content creating and work. But somewhere deep inside, I just really wanted to try new things. Outside of Minecraft. Outside of my room. So I applied to a boarding school in Sweden that revolved around Bible study and outdoor activities. So when last summer ended, I had just produced my favorite build and my favorite video ever. It did pretty well and I was really hyped to start the next video. But then school started. I met lots of new friends and I was surprised I could survive in a boarding school as an introvert.
Vad tror du för något?
Ris.
In the course I studied, we got to learn how to use backpacking kitchens, how to plan food, how to kayak, set up tents, keep warmth, and much more.
Oh, meatballs!
This is a good time to explain that there's a challenge that you can try in the course. It's called the survival. Basically, you play Minecraft survival, IRL. You get placed in the forest for anything between 1 and 10 days. The only things you can bring are your clothes, a lighter, a knife, and then in your group you get a tarpaulin and a pot so you can boil water. Not knowing how long you'll be out in the forest for is a part of the challenge, so I won't say how long I was out for. In my group we were 3 people. First you need to build a bivouac with a tarpaulin. After you have some kind of shelter, you need sticks so you can start a fire and get warm. And once that is done, you can now boil water on the campfire. In Sweden we have lakes everywhere. I mean, we literally have more than 20,000 lakes in Sweden, which is not a super large area. In other words, finding water is easy. Lastly, you can go look for food unless you need more sticks for the fire and the beds. The first night, we actually ran out of sticks for the fire, so we had to use our beds as fuel. Food. That can be found in loads of places. For example, you can actually find roots that are edible. Although you might have to get some cold hands if you want to get them. I survived the survival, and when I got back to the school, I made a post here on YouTube.
Wait, you were in Hunger Games school?
Why are the bakers calling it that? Like, I really can't see why.
Yeah, definitely Hunger Games school.
In the spring, we had even more adventures planned with the class. Remember, this is still school. We went alpine skiing, hiking skiing, or whatever it's called. We went hiking, downhill biking, climbing, kayaking, and lastly we took the train down to Italy to hike there. I've even started woodworking and building my own kitchen table. Oh, and I have to show you guys when we had a water fight with jelly balls guns at the school. And when I got a double elimination when we played paintball. It was sick. I was like, wow, you know. During this year, I've barely touched content creating. And my activity on Discord has also been struggling. Every day has been filled with so much action at the school, so I kind of forgot to work on these projects that I used to work on. Getting home from school was a little bit empty in a way. I've been living 9 months just a few meters away from all my friends, and here I'm sitting in my old room with no one around me. Where's my roommate? Well, if I don't have anything else to do, I can continue on the World Builder series. Even though I haven't built anything recently, I'm really excited to start sculpting landscapes again. I'm gonna continue the build down here. I sort of want to match the vibe we have inside the garden, but I also want to do something inspired by this artwork. Maybe I could merge the two. Let's start with the basics, just laying out the terrain. Stop, wait. I have some bad news, like really bad news. As I was making the terrain for the new area, my laptop ran out of storage. And that means I cannot access the replay of me building. Luckily, I had the raw files. When I record my replays, the game automatically saves some backups. These are all my backups. So when we record a replay, we get a new recording. The new recording will bump out the oldest recording, which gets deleted. So that's how I lost the first recordings. Now, back to the video. Inside the garden we have these pondish thingies, and I still have the assets for those, but they don't have the same shape as in the reference picture. So I made some new ponds for the new area. I know exactly what this place needs. Some life. As you may know, I love statues. And when I was in Italy, I saw so many. And that gave me some pretty good inspiration to make my own statues again. But if I remember correctly, last time I built statues, I was struggling. Really bad. I hope it doesn't have to be like that again. I saw a picture on Pinterest of a girl that let go of a bunch of balloons. And I thought, that's cool. I jumped into the building without overthinking it, because I was still worried that this would be really difficult. But to my surprise, it went really smooth. I spent like an hour on this statue. The last one took like 3. I've always thought smaller statues are even more difficult than bigger or medium ones. But this one went very well. Okay, so this is a pro tip. Whenever you finish something, ask for some professional opinion. And with that said, this is Nighty. He's a fellow organic builder. So check out his content if you want to see some crazy stuff. I mean, just check out these builds. He even built a duck, bro. Give this guy a follow. He's the perfect guy that I can ask for feedback. What do you think?
It's alright, but the arms. Let me cook.
Ah, okay, now I see the difference. That's why ask Nighty for feedback. So now that the tower is good, what's next? Well, we can look under it at the beautiful landscape. Maybe it's time we do something about that. This sand needs some more things to look at. Just look at this boring ass terrain. Let's do a little quiz, okay? Which one of these two terrains are the most boring? They're equally boring! These ponds are supposed to be an extension of the garden, so I'll reuse the assets from there. Okay, I know there's sand everywhere, but I don't want this area to be too dry. I'm also not sure about this color scheme that we have going. What if we just make this whole sand area into a grassy forest with wildlife? I know it won't look like the reference picture, but I don't think it should be too close to the reference anyway. And this is my world after all, I do whatever I want. What do you think of these swirls? They might be a little bold, but I really like them. This is too green, too happy. Let's just do the green wool, but we save some of the sand patches. Yes, we need trees. The plants and stuff gave it life, but now it's time for death. I'm joking. Or am I? I want to do something like what I did in a build I call Two Worlds. Yeah, this build. In that build, there's a clean castle on top of an old ruined city. When I made that build, I really liked the build idea for that one, and now 2 years later, I can try that concept again. Let's make some ruins for the garden. The ruins I'm making are really old, even older than the white structures in the garden. The black structures are the ruins of an old civilization, like in Two Worlds. We don't know why the inhabitants left the site, but when they did, the structure lost its white color, as if the inhabitants was the ones giving it life. Thankfully, the dead structure didn't spread to the garden, only the part in the shadows withered away. I'd love to hear your imagination when it comes to the lore of this world, so comment your lore ideas in the comments, and it can be included in the world, because we need more lore in this world. Also, since I don't have a name for this world yet, we can call it PWB, because having to say Project World Builder can be pretty tiring. Before I call this area done, I need to fix this absolute mess of assets over here. Oh, and if you're wondering what this thing is, it's a color map that I stole from this guy. So huge shout out to this legend for making that. He offers a world download where you can download that color map. And if you want to explore this world I'm making, you can download it from my Patreon. With the assets moved to the back of the big fishy, we can properly enjoy the view of this area. Last year was a year where I could pursue content creation, for real, and I could focus on my career, if you want to call it that. But this year became a year for me, self-development and making new friends. Sometimes I think that is exactly what everyone needs. A break from our long-term goals and just taking time to focus on our own mental health. By doing this, we can find out what the most important thing is in our life and what really matters to us when we get older. So maybe you should let go of your balloons and pursue the things you always wanted to. Thanks for watching.